Hi everybody, it's David Elk Knob Farm. I'm out here on a really hot afternoon, checking in on my tomatoes amongst other things. I'm tying them up a little bit higher. As you can see, they're now taller than I am, so they're more than 6 feet, making sure everything's tied off and not drooping because I've had some pretty explosive growth over the last few days. I'm also going to be pruning off some suckers and cleaning up any blighted leaves that I have down at the bottom. And let's take a look and see how things are going. See, these are just way taller than my T-posts now. These are 6-foot T-posts. They're pounded about 1 foot in the ground, so I would say they're just about eyeball level at the top, about 5 feet tall. And you can see these are clearly more than 1 foot, almost 2 feet taller than the T-posts already. Flowering really, really well. As I did mention with the blight, I'm starting to get some blighted leaves down here at the bottom, so anything that is yellow and has spots, I'm going to cut off today and get out of here to stop that from spreading around. So you can see I'm starting to get some by all the junk in the aisle. I've cut quite a few branches off. I'm throwing them here in the aisle rather than underneath because these do have blight spores on them and I really don't want them splashing up on my tomatoes again. But you can see I cut off all the blighty stuff, and I mean some of these are kind of extreme, but they'll do alright. It actually gets some sun on the fruit and they will green up a little bit. Oh, I should probably get rid of that one. It's a little funky looking. I'll have to inspect that one. But this will allow some more sun on the fruit. Oh, I have to trim a little bit more on that one, a little bit of blight in the back. And also much more airflow. So these things should be a little bit less likely to blight up more. So now I have to tie up a few more. I got most of them tied up. A couple more to do. And then I actually noticed that I have peas again. I can't believe it. It is so late in the year for peas. But they're still going. Well, that's not the biggest pile of peas in the world, but I'll take it. July is not usually a pea month, especially here near the end. It's kind of exciting. This is that dead bed that a few weeks ago I just kind of called quits on, and nothing in here was growing. Put about 6 inches of manure on top, compost. Covered it with some grass clippings. Planted beans in the back about 2 weeks later. It's now been 2 weeks since then, or a week and a half, and we have beans. So it looks like this bed is much, much happier now that I've buried whatever it was, probably ash, all the ash from the old fire pit. So I am going to now stick some new cukes in here and try and get those things going. Just digging away a little bit of the leaf mulch on top. Down to the soil. Planting this down in the soil. About right. I think I just dropped one too. Dropped one of my precious seeds. Round 3 of picking broccoli. Oh, there's a cool little spider. You see him floating there? Yeah, probably isn't focusing real well on him. Hello, Mr. Spider. Anyways, as you can see, we're starting to get little heads again. Starting to open up and getting ready to bolt, so I have to cut what's here. Some of it I'll probably get rid of, like that one might be a little bitter. I'll take a sample taste of it, see how it tastes. But it's time for round 3 of broccoli harvest, so let's see how that goes. Okay, that's not a bad little pile, and as you can see, it was really starting to sit, really getting ready to flower. So this is probably the last I'm going to get. I'll let some of these go up and run seed heads up so I can collect some seed for next year. A bit of fennel sounds really good. Let's see which ones. There's some big ones here. That one's definitely big. Oh, so is this one here. Alright, these are kind of a little difficult to get in at, so a lot of times I cut the fronds off before I even get in here. So finding works a little easier, so I can see the base and see what I'm up to. And the fronds I give to the chickens, and they love it. Give them some nice licorice snack. Oh, that big earthworm, he startled me, it's so huge. It's a big healthy guy. Oop, well, have fun on the lettuce. Alright, nice big bulb of fennel. Beautiful. Yummy, yummy. Guess what's for dinner? First we have our lettuces. I haven't covered these back up because my romaines, as you can see, are as tall as my cover hoops are, and I figured what the heck, I'll just see what happens. But all three varieties have still not bolted. There's romaine in the middle, butterhead on the left, and bronze beauty on the right, all doing great. We saw the fennel earlier. These are called Bulgarian giant leeks, and starting to see, I gotta get over to the other side so you can see this one big guy. But I can start to see why they call this giant leeks. I mean, that's almost the size, well, it probably is. It's probably bigger than a corn stalk. So these are going to be huge. Interesting. Swiss chard is a trooper. We haven't been eating a lot of this because this is something that won't bolt, so we're kind of saving it for a little bit later. Can you see that sucker in there? Nice. Nice zucchini. Okay, well here's the 2 zucchinis. You just saw me harvest that nice big one. And one thing I would like to point out is, remember the dill? Well, this is where my dill was, which I'm allowing to go to seed now, so you can see how interplanting this is really starting to take off when the dill is really shutting down. So I'm kind of letting it just kind of commingle together. And I'll let all this dill make some nice dill seed for both for next year and for maybe making some pickles. Whole bunch on the other side of the fence. Makes it kind of fun. There are some funky ones in here that were in contact with the ground. When I rinse and clean these are going to get tossed down a little compost bucket and then fed to the chickens. That's why they're in this bucket, and I'm just not like dropping them and leaving them on the ground. You're trying to tie my peppers up. It's really tough. They are very bushy, but the peppers are getting so huge for such small plants. I have to do something. These are my Crimson Lee. They're getting just ridiculously enormous. Right here are my Purple Islander peppers. I've actually got at least one after harvest right here. These ones are getting close. They're still a little green on the shoulder. Yeah, those ones aren't quite ready, but in a day or two. But this guy right here looks nice. Look at that. Oh, I could have probably gone a day later, but still. Nice little peppers, huh? Perfect. Thai chili. They're pretty easy to identify because of the way they grow with them sticking straight up like that. But last year they didn't quite get red. My season is pretty short for a tropical pepper. So we'll see, but I got some uprights on a lot of these. So this one doesn't seem to be doing a heck of a lot. And hopefully those will come in and turn red. Thanks for joining me today in the garden. I'm sure you're hopefully sitting inside in the air conditioning, staying nice and cool and not sweating to death like I am out here. So I'm going to now retreat to the inside with all of my goodies, and we'll come back out tomorrow and do a little bit more chores. So I hope you're all doing great out there. If you haven't already done so, I'd love it if you would subscribe and hit the thumbs up, and we'll talk to you all soon. Thanks for stopping by.